Hello, my name is Enrique, and today I'm going to do a video on how to prepare for the NPTE exam. The first tip is to study consistently, but avoid getting burned. It's a very delicate balance. So you need to study enough that you learn all the material, but not study too much where you get burned. So I would recommend studying 4 to 6 hours a day. Every 30 minutes of study, take a 5-minute rest, or every hour, a 10-minute rest. That's to be able to once again recover your focus on the material. Have a day or two of rest each week. And every 12 weeks of study, take a 10 to 14 days of rest. This is recommended if you're going to study for a longer period of time than just the normal 4 months. That way you recover and you could keep on studying. I wouldn't recommend working full-time and also studying full-time. It could be a little bit overwhelming. I would recommend working maximum 25 hours a week while studying. Second tip, focus on the big threes. Focus on the following body systems the most. These have the most questions in the NPTE: musculoskeletal, neuromuscular, and cardiovascular and pulmonary. These three body systems have a total of 135 questions of the 200 questions of the NPTE, which is almost 70% of the exam. Look at this: cardiovascular and pulmonary, 28 questions of the exam. Musculoskeletal system has 51 to 60 questions in the exam, and neuromuscular and nervous systems have 44 to 50 questions in the exam. Imagine if you didn't study for neuromuscular and musculoskeletal. Those are 100 to 110 questions in the exam. Now the third tip is don't cram your studies. Take your time to really comprehend each topic. Most questions in the NPTE will focus on case studies or a clinical scenario, things that are happening in the clinic and how you would react towards that situation. So just knowing the facts is not enough. You need to apply your knowledge to figure out which is the best option. You must be able to understand the why. Don't just memorize the facts. You must be able to teach it to others. This is the pyramid of knowledge. When you're learning something, first you just know the facts, you know the data. The people responsible of making the NPTE exam, they know enough to have wisdom of the topics. They don't just know the facts. So that they're not going to put you just basic facts. They're going to put scenarios. They're going to put clinical cases. So you really got to understand what you're studying. Take good care of yourself. Many times we're so occupied trying to prepare for the NPTE that we forget to take care of ourselves. Take care of your mind, body, and soul during your studies. Very important. Take time to socialize with your friends and families during the weekends. Eat foods that are good for your brain, like walnuts, avocado, and salmon. Fruits like blueberry, although avocado is also a fruit. And also take vitamins like vitamin B complex and phosphate. And drink plenty of water. because your brain is going to need all these nutrients. And avoid fast foods. Exercise, really important. Exercise a minimum of 30 minutes for 3 times a week. But if you could exercise every day, do it. Sleep is also important. Very important, more than what we might think. It's important for building muscles, but it's also important for memorizing. It helps consolidation of memory, reduces headaches, and helps avoid burnouts, and helps recharge your brain for the next day. I would recommend to sleep a minimum of 6 hours every night. Take quizzes and exams. Take a quiz each day or every 2 days of 10 to 20 questions. You have to aim for an 8 out of 10 or a 16 out of 20 questions correct or higher. This will create a better consistency. If you get an 8 out of 10, that means you're aiming towards at least an 80% in the exam. For daily practice, some cell phone apps I like using were Medical Pocket Prep, NPTE. That was the first one that I started using. Therapy Ed app. This one is really difficult. The questions are really hard. PT Content Master. This one is really good. Questions regarding simple facts. It doesn't have that much scenario questions or clinical cases, so it's not my favorite. Also, I would recommend PT 365, which has a question each day from Scorebuilder. And then you have the NPTE Final Frontier, which also has a question of the day. And the good thing is that these apps are free. Take a lot of practice exams. This really is going to help. That's what I was doing. I took more than 12 practice exams. So when you're starting to study for the NPTE, you only need to take maybe one exam each month in order to understand where your weak spots are. But once you're getting closer to the exam, like let's say you're only 2 months from the exam, I would recommend taking an exam at least every 2 weeks. This will help you create resistance for the real test, which is 5 hours long, and also help you get used to taking this test. Some practice tests I would highly recommend are the PETS, all 4 versions. These are the exams that are most close to the NPTE exams. So I would recommend buying the PETS, and I say once you take the 2 exams, then buy it again and they'll give you 2 different exams. Also the PT Hustles tests. These 2 exams are very similar to the NPTE. I would highly recommend. NPTE Final Frontier, it's not so accurate to the NPTE because the questions are much longer and take more time to respond to them, but it's just a good overall practice of what questions might appear on the NPTE. And also Therapy Ed, the questions are really difficult, so if you're able to dominate the Therapy Ed exams, you know that you're ready for the NPTE. Invest in a study guide program. This is really important. A study program can increase your NPTE results by 100 points or more at a faster pace than if you were just studying by yourself. These study programs usually have a duration of 12 weeks. They have live classes, practice exams, tutors, a study community, and recorded explanation videos of various topics. A good, inexpensive program, it's a really great price, would be the NPTE Final Frontier. That's the one that I took. I highly recommend it. Probably you'll be paying $400 to $500, but it's totally worth it. And another study guide program is the Pthustle with Coach K. I would recommend that one too. I didn't really take the Pthustle program, but I've heard many good things about it. And also I've seen his videos on YouTube, which are really good, and on Facebook. His study exam is really good too. The tip number 7 would be try new ways to learn topics. Be creative. Don't only stick to studying from a study review book. Use flashcards. Test yourself. Search for YouTube videos to clarify your doubts. I will share a NPTE playlist so that way you guys could check some videos that I was using on YouTube that were really helpful. Have a study buddy. Join a study group. Don't do it alone. Check the Pthustle's podcast. It's free, so why not use it? Change your environment occasionally if it helps. If you feel bored, if you feel you can't concentrate, join an NPTE Facebook community. There's a lot of good ones like the Pthustle, the Final Frontier, Study Buddy, and they occasionally upload videos regarding the NPTE, regarding questions. They even do a fun activity that's like Jeopardy. So I would highly recommend that too. That helped me a lot. And subscribe if you like the video. Give it a like. Follow me. Comment if you have any doubts, any questions. If you want to add any other techniques. And I'm going to leave you with a quote. It says, "May God lead you through victory. Remember, studying for the NPTE is not a race. It's a marathon. So pace yourself. Take the time to learn every subject, every topic. Understand well the whys of everything. Really search for more resources. And don't rush. If you don't feel ready yet, don't take the exam. Because you only have 6 tries. So don't rush. Do it at your own pace, at your own time. Just like in a marathon.